Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Hi, and welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Today, we radiate change with Jen Watts, our embodiment coach. And Jen, you've been doing quite a bit of work on menopause.
Yes. Perimenopause and menopause, the whole range. Yes.
The full picture. Yeah. So perimenopause, what different? I should know this. I'm a lady. I'm now in my 60s, I should say. What differentiates perimenopause from menopause?
So perimenopause is that time when your hormones start to change and start to shift. And it can start as early as your 30s.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Some women in their 40s. 40s is pretty common.
Yeah.
And it can last a couple of years up to a decade. And then menopause is when you have officially transitioned out of having your period. So that's when periods no longer happen. And that official time is you are in menopause when you are 12 months without a period. And it's 12 months in a row. Yes.
Right. Because some women can kind of skip a cycle or two in perimenopause.
Correct. Or multiple. Like you could go 6 months and then get your period.
Okay. And see, I think I'm feeling so dumb about this and having, just like such basic questions because mine was really pretty quick, age 42, and it really didn't take very long at all.
Lovely.
And mine was pretty painless. I think I had maybe one hot flash.
Wow.
So forgive my innocence, but I don't know as much as I probably should about that.
Okay.
No.
And it's really a topic that is not discussed enough.
No,
So most women are in that same boat. And I do want to also say that menopause, it can occur through surgical.
That's true.
And
Surgical means.
chemo, if you've gone through cancer treatment or whatever, that can also start that menopause as well. So there are multiple ways to enter this phase of life.
Right.
And I want to be sure and honor all of those phases. But like for me, one reason why I am so passionate about this topic is because it was not enjoyable for me. And it was really hard and it was a really long road. I feel like I probably entered perimenopause around the age of 40, 42, somewhere around there. And I just this month actually, am officially in menopause. And I'm 54.
Yeah.
So it's been like a good 12-year journey for me.
Oh my goodness.
And it affected me, my mental health, my emotional health, and my physical health. And I would have horrendous periods, very heavy bleeding to where I couldn't leave my house, that I would bleed so much.
Oh my goodness.
Multiple trips to the emergency room with heavy bleeding. And then just all of the brain fog that happens with it and the mood swings and the anxiety. I had never experienced anxiety in my life until the last 4 years. And it has been very much hormone driven. Pain in your body, joint pain, muscle pain. There are so many ways that estrogen helps your whole system, from your brain to your joints, to your gut, and all of that you don't really realize until that shift starts to happen. And for some women, you're just able to breeze right through that sucker. And then for others, it's really a difficult journey. And mine was more difficult.
Yeah, yours was hard. Wow, 12 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Symptomatic the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
And probably the last 2 to 3 years were the hardest.
Yeah. Wow. I can't even imagine. So we all know what menopause is. And the men who are listening, hopefully you're not being too squeamish today. And maybe you can listen to this in support of a woman that you love.
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
And we're not going crazy. I mean, we feel like we're going
We
crazy.
do feel like we're going crazy.
Oh my God, it is right.
Yes.
And it is a very natural and normal thing, but it can affect different women very, very differently. So we all know what it is. It's the cessation of menstruation. It is a shift in the hormone structure of the body or the hormone placement of the body. And it is gearing down from the childbearing years. That's basically what it is. But how does this affect women? How can it affect women? What are some of the different symptoms?
Well, I guess start with your body. It can affect your gut. You can experience changes in your gut. And like I said, your joints, how your body feels. It can affect your sleep. You know, you have those vasomotor symptoms with the hot flashes, and you can experience anxiety, depression also can come with it. When I was going through perimenopause, experienced a lot of rage that seemed to come out of nowhere. I also experienced a lot more migraines when I was in the perimenopause phase. Now, thankfully, now that I'm in menopause, my migraines have subsided dramatically, which has been a fantastic blessing. And when your sleep starts to get affected, all of those other things, it's a domino effect in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But your skin can change. You don't have as much elasticity. You can experience sexual changes. You can experience changes with urinary incontinence issues can come with it. I mean, there's just a whole laundry list of symptoms that some that you would never imagine that come with it. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears.
That's associated with menopause? See, some of these things I'm looking at and I'm going, okay, these are natural things. Like my dad had tinnitus, but he didn't have menopause, of course. Things like gut health. We can chalk these up to so many different things.
Right.
But they can be also hormone driven.
Right. So my understanding is that in a woman's body, that estrogen helps to serve as an anti-inflammatory.
And what about in men's bodies?
Men also have estrogen as well. And I don't know the full answer to how that works.
Fair enough, right? So, but yeah, they do have estrogen as well.
They do have estrogen as well.
Right.
Obviously in different
ratios. Right.
Just as we have testosterone, progesterone, and it's not just the estrogen that changes, it's progesterone changes as well. Testosterone levels can change as well. So they all work in concert together, and they all move and shift together as well.
Wow. Yeah, so a wide variety of symptoms that we can experience. When I was perimenopausal, one of the things I first noticed was a change in the consistency of my hair, the texture of my hair. It's like all of a sudden my hair was really dry and kind of like stick-like.
Right.
Yes.
Or mine became a little wavier.
Did it?
Had a little. I've always had stick straight hair. Now it's got an actual little wave to it. All that also comes with gray as you get gray.
Right. Well, that's interesting because texture changes come along with menstruation and puberty.
Right.
So a lot of girls will get curly, boys especially their hair will get darker on their head and curly as well.
Right.
So that can happen too.
Right. So if you think, actually, that's a good point. When you are a preteen, and you are getting your period, if you remember back the hormone shifts that you felt then, it's the same now, and that we shouldn't really expect it to be
any different. No.
Right.
You're right.
It's just that you forget, because most of us have had that for 30 years of our life. And that's mostly what you recall. You don't recall that portion
of how crazy you felt. And I do remember my joints and my bones and my muscles just ached from growing, but that could have been growing as well. It didn't have to be puberty. Yeah. So many changes in the body. There was a comedian who said that she was told that she would change, but she didn't know she would be changing into her father.
Oh,
she started getting whiskers on her chin. Yeah.
right.
So there's a wide variety of things that can happen. We are not going crazy. It can feel like there are other things that can be also explained away. The muscle aches and everything. Oh, I've just been doing it too much, or I'm just getting old. This is getting old. But so much of it can have to do with hormone shifts.
Yes, absolutely. And you may be experiencing those one way or the other, but that loss of hormone just it accentuates it or makes it worse.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we know what is going on. We know what the symptoms are. We know how we feel. But what are some things that we can do to mitigate and help us just relieve some of these symptoms and feel better? I don't want to take too much of your time, but I would like to ask you a few simple favors. First of all, please rate, review, and share this podcast wherever you're listening. It sounds like a simple little thing, and it is, but it has a huge impact for us because it helps other people find us in the podcasting algorithms. I don't know how it works, but I do know that it helps a lot. Next, if you would subscribe or follow wherever you're listening, whether that's YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, wherever you're listening, just hit subscribe or follow, and that helps you and it helps us. It helps you because then you receive notifications when we have a new episode that's out. It helps us because, again, algorithm magic, I don't know what happens, but it helps. And then finally, you can support our podcast in a tangible way by going to radiatewellnesscommunity.com/podcast and then click on support the show. Now, we have a new feature too. We are now on Patreon. You can find us on Patreon. You can also find the link to Patreon when you go to radiatewellnesscommunity.com/podcast. So on Patreon, for $3 a month or $5 a month, you can support your metaphysical and spiritual growth. You can learn about upcoming guests, and you can get early and ad-free versions of the shows. So please support us. This podcast is free for you to listen, but we have costs, and quite frankly, they come out of my pocket. So if you like this content, if you get a lot out of it, please see what you can do to give back. Thank you so much.
Well, from taking care of your body standpoint, eating more anti-inflammatory diet is helpful. Also, exercise, the things we always love to hear. The prescription of feeling better is true of menopause as well. And the recommendation is really that we focus on weight-bearing exercise. So really focusing on building our muscle mass. And much more important than high-intensity exercise, keeping that part of your body healthy is important too. But honestly, keeping your muscles as strong as you can, because again, as we lose that estrogen, that also starts to weaken our bones as well.
Yeah.
And for some women, like my mom, she has osteoporosis. And so you want to do everything that you can to maintain that your
Muscle
structure for as long as you can to keep healthy. And as you increase your muscles, that helps with balance. It helps with burning calories. It helps with your metabolism. It has a whole range of things. But if you can work on building your muscle, eating anti-inflammatory diet, making sure you're eating enough protein, whether that's a plant-based protein or animal-based protein, that's really important as well. And then taking care of your mental health, seeing a therapist, spending time in community, taking walks outside, getting outside in nature, journaling, exercises. A game changer for me was meditation. Meditation and journaling both, and seeing a therapist as well. Those are very, very helpful. And to help with sleep, whatever you can do to help your circadian rhythm and practice good sleep hygiene is so important. If you can get out in the sunlight first thing in the morning and expose your eyes to the sunrise coming up as early as you can get out there, the better. Also, if you can get outside at any time in the afternoon for 15, 20 minutes, whether that's to sit, what's better would even be just to take like a 15-minute walk in the afternoon sunshine. And then again, as the sun sets, to spend a few minutes gazing at the sunset and allowing your brain to take in that the day is ending. And as far as good sleep hygiene, it's dark space, cool, which if you experience night sweats or hot flashes at night, cool is a must. There are some other tools that I came across that have helped me with night sweats, etc. And that's bamboo sheets are surprisingly helpful.
Really?
Yes. And you can get cooling like bamboo PJs as well. And those have been a really big help for me. So those are some things you could do. Also, try not to eat 3 hours before bedtime. Turn off all your electronic devices. Try and keep the lights in your home dim before bed. whatever you could do just to set up a relaxing environment to help you sleep through the night. Because if you can do your best to try and get a good night's sleep, that's just going to help all of those other symptoms, managing all those other symptoms.
That is true. So those are really great recommendations. What about things like hormone replacement? Do you ever talk to your clients about that?
Absolutely. And I recommend a book. It's called Estrogen Matters. And it really walks you through the benefits of estrogen and progesterone therapy, what considerations you need to take in for yourself before determining to do that. And you really need to work in concert with your doctor, with your practitioner. There are some reasons why you may not be able to, or you may not want to do hormone replacement therapy. And the benefits can definitely far outweigh the risks for most, but not for all.
Right.
And benefits include women are at a higher risk for Alzheimer's, and hormone replacement therapy has been shown to help mitigate that higher risk. Also, heart health. Heart health is a big thing for women, and using hormone replacement therapy can help with your heart health as well. So I highly recommend reading Estrogen Matters. It's very helpful. I also really recommend, one thing I struggled with was finding a medical practitioner that I felt like would listen to me and would be willing to work with me. And what I would say to all of you out there, if you are experiencing the same thing, don't give up. Keep looking and advocating for yourself. It's so, so important. There's a website called the Menopause Society, and it lists menopause practitioners in different areas of the country. And so you can go out there and find doctors that have either a little bit extra training or that's something that they really focus on in their practice. So that's really, really great resource to go to. And then I just encourage every woman I talk to really educate yourself as much as you can. You are your own best advocate. And a lot of doctors don't have the training, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just how the medical establishment is, unfortunately.
True.
Really?
Right.
And so I think as more of us are entering this age, they realize what a need it is and that it needs to really be addressed. So I highly encourage you to work with your doctor, find somebody that you feel like is listening to you and wants to work through the process with you and what your options are. You can do acupuncture. There's all kinds of supplements that you can take that will also help with symptoms. Of course, none of those things will bring back a balance of your hormones. It's not going to help increase that estrogen and progesterone in your body, but they can definitely help with symptoms. And I highly encourage women to seek that alternative as well.
Right. I have tried a variety of herbal supplements, Chinese medicine, but then also Western medicine with hormone replacement. There's a lot of options out there. Definitely find a good naturopath, functional medicine doctor, Chinese medicine doctor. It really does help. Something that really changed my life was a cream that I put on my arms at night. Yeah. And it's just got a blend of hormones that my body doesn't make anymore naturally. And it's been a game changer. It really has. And there's so many different things. I know I cannot take certain things because I've had strokes. And that is a concern, right? You can't take them systemically, but they're just talk with a doctor, a naturopath, a functional medicine person who can help with that. What about things like pelvic floor therapy? Is that something?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Pelvic floor therapy, as we lose estrogen, that does change our vagina and it changes the elasticity, and your skin is just not as supple. And there are all kinds of changes that take place. And a pelvic floor therapist can absolutely help you if you are experiencing pain with sexual intimacy. It can help you. I mean, pelvic floor pain can make your low back hurt. So sometimes, yes, that's all connected with your hips. Yeah. If you're experiencing any kind of urinary incontinence issues, pelvic floor therapy can also help with that as well. So if you experience any of those kind of things, and I believe You don't always have to have a referral to go see a pelvic floor therapist.
Right. There are some that are independent.
Right. And they are physical therapists
Mhm.
that specialize in the pelvic floor.
So let's back up just a little bit, Jen, because I know that there was a time that I had no idea what a pelvic floor was or how it would receive therapy. What is the pelvic floor?
So the pelvic floor, it's your, I don't know, like if you think of your pelvis, so your hip structure, and it's kind of forms a bowl, right?
Yes.
And so it's those muscles and tendons, I think, that support that.
Well, it support
area.
all of the organs inside as well, right?
Right. So it works with your abdomen, with your diaphragm, and even your jaw is connected.
Is it seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's not just so, and men can have pelvic floor issues as well. And so it's not only your vaginal area, but also your anal area, anus and that area as well. So those muscles down there can either be not responding and not working that tight enough.
Right.
Or the other problem is they could be too tight. Or they could be totally out of balance. One side is tight, and so they don't work together.
Right.
And so a pelvic floor therapist helps diagnose what your needs are. Maybe you need to work on tightening them and strengthening them. And then they will help you with exercises that will help with that. And I'll also help you with exercises that if you're just too tight down there, they'll help you with exercises to work on relaxing and doing all of that as well. So it's interesting. I didn't know, but they work with your breath as well. Doing breath work can help with the muscles in that. So it's more than just, you think it's just this little area that's affected. It's really a lot more to it than that. It's really fascinating.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I see a pelvic floor therapist, and she'll sometimes work on my abdomen, on the inner sides of my thighs. Did not know about the jaw. That is very interesting. And everything really is connected, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Oh, that's fascinating. Now, you have a group that you have started. It was a while ago, like in September, I think you started it, right? Can you tell us about that group?
Yes.
The Empowered She, right?
The Empowered She. Yes. So it's a 4-month group container, and it's all about perimenopause and menopause. And each of the 8 weeks that we meet, and it's twice a month, so we meet 8 times, has a different theme to it. And we have different specialists that have come and talked to us about different parts of going through this phase of life. So we had a physician come speak with us about demystifying menopause and exactly what it is and physiologically how it works and all of that. And then we have had a pelvic floor therapist come talk with us, and a sex and relationship coach talk with us as well, because not only can it affect us, but it can affect our relationships as well.
Absolutely.
And so taking the time to explore what that means and maybe reconnecting if in a relationship with a partner or even just family and friends, it's an important part of the process. But also, whereas we talk about nutrition, about exercise, we meet tonight and actually we're going to talk about stress and how to manage stress through this time and all of that. And then we'll also have a session on sleep.
Oh, wonderful.
Somebody come talk to us about sleep. And then also it's an opportunity for us to come together and support each other and be in a safe space where we can really talk about what our experience is, how we can help support each other, and just know really that you're not alone and that you're not a crazy person.
Well, there's not that many people you can really talk about this with. And to have a group where not only can you talk about this, but you support each other and you've got some education about it too. And you've got some experts to talk you through the process.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What a wonderful program that is. Now, if you're listening to this podcast at this time, right now, we're recording this actually November 19th. So this will be out like next week or something like that. But it's too late to sign up for this particular container, but you'll be offering it again, I'm sure.
Yes.
So keep an eye out on radiatewellnesscommunity.com/events, and we'll post the event when it's time to begin another session again, because I think it's a very helpful thing. Now, could people sign up for it more than once if they wanted to? Like they end one 4-month container and then do another one?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's totally possible. Also, if that particular group wants to keep meeting and continue through, even just in support, try different things that might help with symptoms, that kind of thing together as a group.
Yeah.
I'm totally open to seeing kind of where the threads take us. So, yeah. And right now we're meeting in person. And I would like to add
A
Zoom group to that as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'll see this grow in this next year is the plan.
That's wonderful. I think a Zoom opportunity would be wonderful just for people out of town, but also people who can't, maybe just tired at the end of the day and can't make it, but they could watch from their jammies.
Exactly.
Yes. Is there anything else that you think is important to mention about about change in our bodies?
I think to me, the important thing is to slow down and to really honor what's happening because it's nothing to fear and it's nothing that we're not meant to go through. And I really feel like now more than ever is the time to really sit and listen to your body and listen to what it needs and really give yourself a chance to honor that. And whether that's in community with others, or if it's sitting in the bathtub a couple times a week, just giving yourself that space and time to really let yourself feel what you're going through and to just listen to what you need for yourself because you know better than anyone else.
Yeah, I agree. We know our bodies best. And one thing I would maybe add is that as we enter into perimenopause and then through menopause, we're entering into the crone phase, the wise woman phase, the wise older woman phase. And there's something magical about that, I think, too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Jen. This has been a very enlightening talk. I feel more informed. And I'm really glad that there are folks out here like you who can help talk us off the ledge and talk us through this important change in our lives. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Don't know what to watch next? Decisions. Well, we've got some suggestions. You can click this little video here and watch that. It's something that we think you're going to like. If you like the last one, you're going to like that one too. You can also click on the subscribe button. And if you do that, then you'll get notifications whenever we have a new video up. Win-win, right?